Hi, good evening.
Hi, how you doing?
So, Buckets and I decided to do a small little rant because my one was a bit so off the Richter scale, so to speak, so I decided to redo it. Now, what I wanted to rant about was the Australian cricket team.
Yes, so what's happened is that I don't know if you've been reading the papers, probably none of you has because everyone watches television now and just looks at their phone. But besides that, the Australian cricket team wanted to sue the federal government for not letting them back into the country for I believe if the punishment was 5 years from India. And the issue that we have with this is the fact that the Australian cricket team chose to go to India, which happens to be probably the worst country right now when it comes to COVID, and expected to come back. And now they're basically planning to sue the government for not allowing them to come back home, even though it is a real hotspot for COVID. But it gets better because the thing is, right, whilst everyone is kind of suffering and wanting to go home and whatever, and they've pretty much been denied by the federal government, what did the Australian cricket team do? In all of their sadness and regret that they've gone to India and all the punishment, and I mean excruciating punishment that they've had to go to, the government's offered to basically pay for all the flights to the Maldives. The Maldives, an island which is effectively made for couples on honeymoon, okay, for the duration of their stay, and they'll get an all expenses paid trip from the federal government. So that means that my taxpayer dollars and your taxpayer dollars are basically funding the Australian cricket team to go into COVID in the Maldives, not in India, which is a fucking shit continent right now, which has got the worst COVID rate so far.
And the COVID death rate as well.
No, or even it has probably the worst infrastructure when it comes to hospital cover and everything like that. Like, no, not in that country, in the Maldives, which is, to be honest, like I would just love to be going into lockdown in the Maldives because, like, honestly, all they've got, like, if they're going to practice, like, cricket, they're going to be practicing beach cricket in the sand, okay? If they've got the balls for it, of course.
I think that it's not fair. I mean, we're having to live by strict restriction rules, and they're in the Maldives.
Yeah, and that shits me because it's like, it just means, like, as long as you know the Prime Minister, life is good for you. But if you don't know the Prime Minister, life sucks for you. Life sucks. I don't see any of the other Australian residents that are living in India going to the Maldives as well. I don't see him allowing that or even funding their travel expenses. It's just the Australian cricket team. And I'm just thinking, well, if you're going to protect Australians for a situation like this, don't just protect the Australian cricket team because they play a game, okay? Protect all Australians that are basically stuck abroad. I mean, that would make more sense to me.
Good point, Buckets.
But no, just because these motherfuckers just play a game, as good as they freaking well are, and as the amount of times I've actually fallen asleep during Test match, these guys get to basically live it up in the Maldives, and that's what shits me.
But do you know what? I don't understand why, if we have to follow strict guidelines and rules and restrictions, why can't they do the same?
Yeah,
is it because they're privileged because they're an athletic group?
It's honestly, when election time happens again, okay, what the Labor Party's going to do is they're going to point out little things like this, like the fires that happened, like ScoMo wanting to go to a Sharks game, like other things that are going to do that. And ScoMo will literally have no chance in becoming the next Prime Minister of Australia. He probably does have a good record when it comes to keeping people isolated from themselves, considering, in my opinion, that his entire political career revolves around sending people to prison. But I don't see Australians wanting to vote this guy in ever again. And the way I think he sees things is, well, if I'm not going to put people away, then I'm going to set up my own retirement. So see you, ScoMo. I hope you suck a dick.
Here's a quick question before we go, and I want to put this to buckets. Do you think it's double standards?
Oh, fuck yeah. It is... Oh, my God. It is the double standards of double standards. I mean, honestly, I think ScoMo should get an Academy Award for double standards, basically, because this is a double standard. Okay? Because it just teaches everyone that if you basically want to get ahead in life, no, don't become a lawyer, don't become a doctor. You know, play for the Australian cricket side. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, and you can get away with anything.
So how do we... So my question is, if this is double standards, how do we keep ourselves safe knowing if one or two of the cricket team members have COVID, which I've heard one of them had, one or two.
Well, that's easy, right? Don't go to the Maldives. That's that's one thing. If there is a Australian cricket player that has been basically has COVID, living in the Maldives, the best thing for you to do is not go to the Maldives. Go to somewhere better, like Tasmania, where it's colder, where you're going to probably have exactly the same problems. I don't know.
I just want the whole of Australia to think about the logic is that...
Oh, there's no logic here.
There's no logic here.
There's no logic here. Like, if it was down to logic, I mean, the Australian cricket team wouldn't have gone to India in the first place, and we'd still be pissed off about the fact that the Australian cricket team went to visit Scott Morrison at his house in Kirribilli, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's another story. So I think that's about it, and I think that's about our rant. So yeah, let us know what you think, and leave a comment here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on our YouTube page for Cat Space. If there's a topic you would like us to cover, leave a comment and or inbox us here, and we'll talk about that for you. Give you a shout out and possibly an award down the line. Thank you for listening to us.
Yes,
and
we'll guess you'll see you later.
Bye.